Hello and welcome to episode number 62 of the TEW WWE Challenge Run. This is going to be the first SmackDown of the month of October and the first Mae Young Classic of the month of October, both hailing from, I think it's Central India this time. Yes, it is. We were in Northern India for Raw, but good old Central India for SmackDown, as we begin the build to the joint-branded Super Showdown and Evolution pay-per-views at the end of the month. And, of course, after this, we'll kick off the first matches of the second round of the Mae Young Classic. Without any further ado, let's just jump straight into the show.
Close your eyes, surrender your beliefs to them for holding. Wait patiently to hear whatever changing lines are showing. The week will come. All they wanted was violence. To put the chains on your fires. It's all the worst that's inside us. We'll bring on the violence. The violence.
We kick off Raw with... No, we don't. We kick off SmackDown with Tucker. He's in the ring with a suit, and it's like he's got drapes all over the ropes. It's a red carpet on the mat, and he's got sort of like a scroll. He's like, "Hear ye, please welcome to SmackDown and to the great land of India, the new WWE Universal Champion and the King of SmackDown, and soon the entire WWE, Mr. King Baron Corbin." And King Corbin comes out. He's on his little throne, being carried by his four little dweebs. He's got his title around his waist, and he's waving to the crowd as they boo him out of the building. And he's like, he thanks Tucker for the great introduction, and for knowing what was best for business when he had the King's back. The King sort of laid it all out to him last week, and he was like, "Hey, you really want to help me out? There'll be a hefty reward for you." And now the title is off that pesky Daniel Bryan and in the hands of a true king in Baron Corbin. And for that, Tucker, you will become the King's Knight. And he sort of takes his scepter. He does the pats on the two shoulders and one on the head, and he sort of knights Tucker. And he's like, "You will once again be christened Tucker Knight." Because, of course, his name was Knight. So it all fits perfectly. And then, boo, 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 Daniel Bryan comes out. He hasn't even got time. They're chanting yes, yes, yes in India, but he hasn't got the time to do the yes chants. He heads straight to the ring. He tips the throne onto the floor on his way down. He tries to take the fight to Corbin, but Corbin bails, and Tucker Knight is in the ring with Daniel Bryan. He takes the yes kicks and the running knee, and then yes, 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 as Corbin retreats up the ramp. And then Adam Pearce comes out. He's like, "Hey Daniel, I know you want to get your hands on Corbin really bad, but here's the thing. Next week, I want you to be one of SmackDown's representatives in the WWE World Cup at Super Showdown. So before you can get your hands on Corbin again, you will face Tucker next week, and the winner of that match will move on to the WWE World Cup at Super Showdown." So a nice hot opening. Daniel Bryan and Corbin's issues still not resolved, but Bryan's got to put it on the back burner because he's got Tucker next week, and if he wins that, he'll be preoccupied at Super Showdown. Opening match gets a 41. The new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, defeat the Peak of Physique in 8:35. Jey Uso pins Tony Nese with a double super kick. 39 for Jey Uso, 40 for Jimmy, 26 for Riddick Moss, and a 38 for Tony Nese. Then we get a quick segment with Bianca Belair, just a vignette thing, talking about how she's the EST of WWE and the EST of SmackDown. She can't wait to make her mark in the SmackDown Women's Division, especially when the Evolution pay-per-view is just around the corner, because everyone's going to fall in line, because she's the best, the fastest, the roughest, the best, the strongest, the everythingest here on SmackDown, and she will become a SmackDown Women's Champion sooner rather than later. Speaking of the SmackDown Women's Division, we then get a match between Ember Moon and Billie Kay. Ember Moon, who returned at No Mercy to aid Nikki Cross against Alexa and Nia. And she has her first match back in over a year. Beats Billie Kay with the Eclipse in 6:48. She gets a 36, now 27 for good old Billie. You gotta be joking me. And then a 32 rated segment. Nikki Cross was at ringside with Ember, obviously with Peyton to counteract Peyton for Billy. And then they grab microphones and they say that Alexa's backstabbing ways are going to catch up to her. And then when she decides that Nia is of no use to her anymore, she'll stab her in the back too, just like she does everybody else, because all she cares about is herself and what's best for Alexa Bliss and not what's best for everybody else. Well, at Evolution, you can bring your new best friend, your old best friend, whoever Nia Jax is to you, because we're challenging you to a tag team match. Ember and Nikki versus Alexa and Nia Jax. The challenge thrown out for Evolution 2, Sunday, week 4 of October. From the United States. In VIP Nation promo, they're just backstage in suits doing VIP Nation stuff, and he's like, on Sunday night, Bobby Lashley defeated Sami Zayn, and he put down your underdog from the underground as the almighty United States Champion continues to reign supreme. But we're looking ahead, we're looking past Sami Zayn. We're looking forward to the WWE World Cup. And next week, Mustafa Ali, you've got your little hidden cameras around here. Well, we don't know which one I've got. So he'd do this thing like he's supposed to look at. He's looking at the hard camera, but he sort of pretends to look at it. Like, I don't know which camera you're watching me from, but whichever one it is, you better be watching this. Mustafa Ali, you're going to get put to sleep in the Hurt Lock next week. And the almighty Bobby Lashley is going to advance and prove why he is the best in the world when he dominates the competition at the WWE World Cup at Super Showdown. So next week, like on Raw, we've got 2 tonight and 2 next week for World Cup qualifiers. We had Drew McIntyre and John Cena qualify last Monday on Raw. We've got 2 tonight, and then next week we've got Bryan and Tucker and Lashley and Ali. And on Raw on Monday we've got Andrade and Cesaro and John Morrison and Jeff Hardy. And the winners of them, that will be the complete field for the WWE World Cup. Just a vignette here. It's not actually a promo or anything. Just a video package to be narrated by Paul Heyman. He'd be talking about Brock Lesnar putting his client over. And then he'd sort of start talking about Keith Lee and Keith Lee's meteoric rise here on SmackDown and him beating Braun Strowman at No Mercy. And then the whole aftermath of Brock Lesnar coming out and challenging him to Super Showdown. And Keith Lee pouncing Brock. And he says that at WWE Super Showdown, when these two beasts collide, it's going to be must-see. It's going to be box office. And it's not going to be a prediction. It's going to be a spoiler that there will be a limit for Keith Lee. And that limit is named Brock Lesnar. And then a little graphic pops up saying next week Paul Heyman will be here. And he'll be speaking on behalf of his client Brock Lesnar ahead of the Super Showdown, Super Clash of Titans in 3 weeks' time. Roman Reigns and Shelton Benjamin have a match. Goes 8 minutes 31. Roman pins him with a spear. The Indians get their big dog, and he gets a 78. Shelton a 42. This is just a nice way to sort of get Shelton in the ring with somebody over, because his pop needs to fly up in the next 2 months. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of Shelton Benjamin, but he's in a losing effort here tonight. And then when the Roman Reigns are celebrating, the Firefly Funhouse pops up. Bray says that at No Mercy, Roman defeated Bray. He defeated him 1-2-3 man versus man in the middle of the ring. And yowie wowie, he can't take that away from him. But he should have been more careful and taken the chance to get away while he still could. Because now he is angry. And he sort of has like a burnt tactical Roman Reigns vest. And he's like, and as you saw Sunday night, he's looking to burn every single ounce of your soul. Let me in. Beh. 55. This is the struggles of being in India. 55 for a Sami Zayn Shinsuke Nakamura match. They have a match. I believe they're third. So Sami won to get the US title shot on No Mercy. Nakamura won at SummerSlam. So I guess this is technically the rubber match. And it is the first SmackDown World Cup qualifier where Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Sami Zayn with a Kinshasa from interference from the translator Malcolm Bivens to advance to the WWE World Cup. Sami gets a 49 and a 55 for Shinsuke Nakamura. And a retracted index finger says Chris Parks for Sami Zayn and his bow. He just can remind everyone that he exists, basically, because he's like, all those months ago, I fought my ass off to get my job back. I was supposed to be fired, but I fought and I scratched and I clawed to keep my job. I may have had help along the way. That isn't going to take away. Now all that help is gone. That help is over on Raw, and congrats to Otis. He's going to have a great ceremony on Monday to crown him as the new WWE Champion. I'm sure Mandy, his lovely girlfriend, will be there. But as for Bo Dallas, it's time he needs to start believing in himself once again. Speaking of Mandy, she gets beat by Shayna Baszler in 8 minutes by submission with a Kirifuda clutch. A 34 for Shayna and a 30 for Mandy Rose because they are not over in this country. Shayna then grabs a mic and she says, Sasha, you got lucky at No Mercy in that Fatal 4-Way. You're lucky it wasn't one-on-one and that you could weasel your way out by rolling up your supposed best friend, because Shayna would be the SmackDown Women's Champion right now if not for Paige costing her. They had this whole plan where her and Paige could take Bayley and Sasha out, and then she knows one-on-one she would have beaten Paige, but no, that didn't work out because Paige decided to try and steal all the glory for herself. And he's like, Paige, I know next week I hear that you're going to have your first match back in like 3 years on SmackDown, and I'll make sure I pay you a visit for that. So Paige will be in action next week, and Shayna Baszler definitely going to be keeping a keen eye on that because she seems to have an issue with Paige. Speaking of the women's title, Bayley comes out with a chair, the chair that she maimed Sasha Banks with at the end of No Mercy, and she sits on it with a spotlight on her in the ring, and it's basically the exact same promo that she cut in the real world where she was explaining why she turned on Sasha, but the slight difference is that instead of it being, I did it to keep my title, it's because Sasha stole her title and she wants to get her title back, and says that at Evolution she will get her title back. So Sasha and Bayley, the challenge thrown out, and most likely accepted for their first one-on-one match in years at Evolution. But believe it or not, this is probably going to save the show. AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, two veterans I knew India would love and recognise, fighting it out. One man will go to the WWE World Cup to represent SmackDown, and it's AJ Styles who defeats Rey Mysterio in 16 minutes and 50 seconds. Phenomenal forearm. AJ gets a 73, Rey 75. They have great chemistry, and we end the show with AJ Styles celebrating as he and Shinsuke Nakamura confirm themselves to be the first two representatives of SmackDown in the WWE World Cup to crown the best in the world. This is more what I was expecting when the India tour was booked, and a lot of my broadcasters are not going to be happy with that, and I'm not going to be happy with that rating, but of course, what matters more than the rating is what you thought of the show. So just let me know what you think in the comments below as we hop over to the first matches of the second round of the 2020 Mae Young Classic. Hey look, these are scoring like the same ratings that the actual main SmackDown promo score. So the first match of round 2 is going to be Ashley Fox and Rain. We get the promo package, not really documenting who they are, I guess still sort of going over that, but basically recapping their first round matches and why each woman thinks they're going to beat the other. Rain, of course, the veteran, Ashley Fox, the up-and-comer, and the first person to advance to the quarterfinals. In a 23, Rain defeated Ashley Fox in 9 minutes and 55 with an acid rain. Ashley Fox gets a 30, Rain gets a 26. And the veteran moving on to the quarterfinals. And then Rain will face the winner of the main event here tonight. Another quarterfinal match is Sari and Kira Hogan, two up-and-comers sort of signed to NXT. I don't know if Kira's actually signed or if she's just here for the Mae Young Classic, but she's probably going to be signed eventually because she's pretty good. And advancing in a 23 again, Sari defeats Kira Hogan with a drop kick in 10 minutes 20. Sari gets a 32 and a 23 for Kira. and they're getting turned off because they don't like the jobber matches, apparently. But they're actually scoring about normal. So apparently these women are as over in India as they are in the States. And Sari will face the winner of this match. Poor old Kylie Ray against Danny Jordan. So in this world, Kylie Ray's in the Mae Young Classic. Of course, she's going to keep going because she's goddamn queen. And we wish her all the best here on the TEW YouTube channel. But who advances? 2 gosh darn queens, in fact, but only one can advance. And Kylie Ray defeats Danny Jordan in 9:49 with a super kick. She gets a 29 and 25 for Danny. And Kylie Ray goes to the quarterfinals to face Sari. And then the main event tonight is 2 sort of veterans of the women's division, Nevaeh and Katie Lee. And the winner of this will face the other veteran in Rain in the other quarterfinal for the left-hand side of the draw. And the match gets a 20. Katie Lee defeats Nevaeh in 12:24 by pinfall. 26 for Katie Lee, 27 for Nevaeh, setting up a veteran women's clash between Katie Lee Burchill and Rain for the quarterfinals, as well as Sari versus Kylie Ray for that side of the draw. Show gets a 23, doesn't really matter, it's a B show. It's just to get the tournament sort of underway and rocking and rolling in the second round. So of course do leave your thoughts on this and of course SmackDown in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for episode 63, Monday Night Raw. See you then.